fifth grade. Welcome back to reading. This video is for May 4th. This week we're going to be reading a story called Rounding Up the Sheep. And so since it's about sheep and shepherding, I thought it would be appropriate if we spent some time in Psalm 23. This is probably one of the most famous psalms in the Bible, and it talks about how the shepherd cares for his sheep, and it's a picture of how God cares for his people. So I'm going to start with the first two verses today. And this was a psalm that was written by David. And in verse 1, it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters." And so in verse 1, when David says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," the want there means that I won't lack anything, that I won't be in want or in need of things. It's not that I don't want him to be my shepherd. It's that because he's my shepherd, he's taking care of my needs. He's providing for me, and I won't be in want or in need of things. And then verse 2, when it says, "He makes me lie down in green pastures, he leads me beside still waters," it talks about the peaceful, calm rest that he gives us and how he provides for our needs and cares for us lovingly. So you can just imagine a shepherd out on a hillside or in a meadow or somewhere with some sheep, taking care of them, watching over them, protecting them, caring for their needs. So it's a beautiful picture of the way that the Lord cares for his people. Well, today we're going to look at some words that you're going to come across in the story. These are not the vocabulary words, but these are words that you're going to need to be familiar with. Our story takes place in the country of Iceland. And at the end of the video, I'm going to try to attach a picture of a map that will show you exactly where Iceland is. But Iceland is an island, and it's a European country located midway between North America and mainland Europe. And it lies just below the Arctic Circle. And it's sometimes called the country of fire and ice. It's a beautiful country that is both filled with glaciers and other things that are ice and snow related. And then it also has the geysers. Like if you've ever been to Yellowstone and you've seen Old Faithful, they have geysers there like that. So there's quite a difference there in the geographical elements of Iceland. So one interesting thing about Iceland is that the very first parliament in history was in Iceland in AD 930. So a parliament is like our Congress in our country. It's the lawmaking body of the government. And in Iceland, they were the first in history to have a parliament, to have this type of a government where the people had a say in the laws that were made. So on the board, I have quite a few words that you're going to come across in the story that you need to be familiar with, and I'll try to help with the pronunciation of them, but I probably am not going to pronounce them like they should actually be pronounced. So I'll just go over these with you so you'll know when you come across them in the story what they are. So the first is Bruni. I believe that's a long I, Bruni, and it's the name for a dog. And it comes from the Icelandic word brun, which means brown. So it would be like you naming your dog Brownie, maybe, or something. So Bruni. Finnur is a man's name. Gudrun, it looks like Gundren, but it's pronounced Gudrun, and that's a woman's name. Olaf is a man's name. You're probably familiar with Olaf from the Frozen movies, right? Skyr is a food that's eaten like pudding. Stapa just is an Icelandic word for stop. Sounds pretty close, right? And then Thingvellir is the Parliament Plains, and it's the site of the oldest parliament in the world. So it's just a large open plain, just grass area, but as I said, in 930 AD, that was the site where the first parliament was held in history. So, as I said, we're going to be talking about sheep and rounding up sheep today. And I have a little stuffed sheep here. I've had this little Beanie Baby lamb for quite a while, as you can probably tell. And this little stuffed sheep looks very cute, but it's not much like a real sheep, right? What do you think of when you think of sheep? They're not the brightest of animals, are they? Yeah, they're kind of dumb, I guess if you want to say, and they're followers. That's why the shepherd needs to keep really close watch over them, because if one of them starts to stray off, then the rest will follow, and they're just not the brightest animal around. No wonder the Bible compares us to sheep so much, because we do have a tendency to wander off on our own and wander away from the Lord, right? We need to stick close to our good shepherd. So as we begin reading our story, we're going to read about the adventures and problems of rounding up sheep. So I'm just going to read the introduction to you today. We're not going to actually start the story until next time, but go ahead and open your books to page 459 and follow along with me as I read the introduction to Rounding Up the Sheep. It was written by Elizabeth Yates and it's illustrated by Kathy Flood. Iceland is an island in the North Atlantic Ocean about the size of the state of New York. It lies midway between Europe and America. Its northern coast fringes the Arctic Circle, but the Gulf Stream flowing near moderates the climate. During good weather, Iceland possesses crisp, clear days with an average temperature of 50 degrees. That's chilly for us. So 50 degrees is their average temperature. Iceland's far north location gives it 24 hours of light during summer days, but only a few hours of light during winter days. So because it is so far north, it has very long days in the summer and very short days in the winter. You don't get much sunlight during the winter months. And then during the summer months, it's light most of the time. A dramatic beauty offsets Iceland's stony land. Volcanic rock reflects fantastic colors in the brilliant sunlight. The distant silver glaciers set off the bright green of meadows and the blue of mountain ranges. So it's quite a breathtaking, beautiful country, and we'll be reading about the adventures of rounding up the sheep in Iceland starting next time. Thanks for watching this video today.